Hi guys, Boring Engineer here, back with another lockpicking video. Today I've got something a little fun. EastBei, a lockpicker in the community, newer to lockpicking, just figuring some things out, and he got some cool locks last week or so. Some LOTO 410s and some American Series 1100s, and well, he learned some lessons. I think most of us lockpickers have learned one way or another along the way here. On this 410, yeah, he turned it into a baby rattle. So what I'll do is I'll open it up along this seam here, take out the pins and put everything back together again for him, then glue it back up. I'm not going to cut it open on camera, but after I get it cut open, I'll show you guys how that gets all put back together again. Then he sent along these two American 1100s. Now, most people get the... Does it have it on the box here? Oops, that's the 410 box. Most people get the S1100s. This is... Or, excuse me, yeah, this is an A1100. Interesting, okay. So maybe got one of each. He said, yeah, okay, so we got S1100s. So he must have grabbed the wrong box there, but that's okay. Anyway, so what we have are these two S1100s. They're a little different than the A1100s. They don't have the spring tension, and they're 6 pins. I've never played with one, but he sent along this one, and if you look at it, oops, keyway's upside down, and nothing will work, obviously. I've run into this before, so let me see if I can fix it here, and if I can, then I'll gut it and show you guys what was wrong with it. So I'm just gonna give this a couple hard wraps, and then I'll grab my tension wrench, and I think what's happening is the key pins are running up and out of the main cylinder. Yep, there you go. See? Alright, so there we go, that's open. Boy, my battery is running real low on this camera. I'd hate for it to go out, so I'm gonna stop the video here. I will be right back after this battery charges up, so stick with me. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. Alright, so let's get this apart and show y'all how this can happen and what happened. So first take our retaining lug out, retaining screw, retaining plate with the tab, and knock our core out here. Excuse me, spring allergies. Alright, so I haven't relocked this yet, but turn it. Bless me. Ooh. Gosh, allergies are crazy. Anyway, alright, so what we can see here is we have the core upside down from where it normally is, and this is a cheaper way to manufacture these cores. So that what they do is, or not the core, excuse me, the Bible and body. So they, instead of drilling from the top and then having a cap or whatever, they just drill right from the bottom, and it's a one-step process to get those chambers done. The problem, of course, is that leaves this hole in the bottom of the body where these pins can come up right through, right? normally that's not a big deal because the plate here stops the key from rotating past 90 degrees, and so you'd never see this condition in normal operation. Becomes a problem for pickers when you over rotate, famously in the 410 Lotto, where you get a baby rattle, which we're going to deal with in a second. But here, because of the construction, all you do is you drop these key pins just a little bit into the body, and you get a locked up lock. So basically you bounce the lock to try and get those pins down. In this case, easy enough to just take a pick and poke them down, make sure they're all down, and then we should be able to get the turn, right? So just slam that body of the S1100s down to try and get those pins to drop so that we can turn the core and get the lock back to where it needs to be. So with all that being explained, I will I'll put this guy back together again, and it can go back to EastBei and live a happy life, being picked to his heart's content. So come on, get in there. There we go. So let's get him back together again. I'm not going to pick him on video because this is EastBei's lock, so his to pick and show us how he goes with it. So alright, let's just put him back together. Lock tight, keeping us a little busy. And then rotate the core the correct direction. Oh, of course it won't. Well, it should. No, it won't let us do that until we put the right, of course. Get the, there we go. Okay. Yeah. So, get that back in. Everything works good. Great. So, that's that guy. Alright, on to our other problem child. So, this kind of has the same issue. While my battery was charging, I took the hacksaw to this 410 Lotto, pulled everything out. So you can see the creases there where I just cut around and then it popped open. They seal this with, it's like a heat seal, is how they get that. There's these couple posts that remain. We'll use those to glue the body back together again when we're done here. Shackle just rests in the body. 2 steel ball bearings and this rotating lug to keep everything together. Alright, so that's that stuff. Now, I'm going to slide over here. So just like with that S1100, same thing happened here. It's the same core actually, where they've drilled through and to make that Bible. But in this case, it just spills its guts all over the inside of the lock. So I dropped everything out, put everything in order, and so now I will show you guys how I go about figuring out what this lock is, putting this battle lock back together again and get the bitting correct. So it's not too bad. We can see that the 6 is a really low cut, almost 0. And then we have a series of pretty high cuts, so there's going to be 3 that are going to be the same pin, or very close to the same pin, and then 2 that are similar, but just a little shorter. So I put the key in, and then I grab my trusty tweezers here, and there are all the key pins. So this is the shortest one. Yep, and that one goes right in there. And then I got these long guys. I think we had one up front. Oh, come here. That's a little tall. And oops. Oh. Not doing well at this. Alright, we'll just use our fingers. I know it's kind of hard to see if I do that, but alright. So that's obviously chamber 5, though it's steel, so maybe be further up. That's a little low. So far we've got chambers 5 and 6 sorted. Or excuse me, 4 and 5. 5 and 6, yeah. And that's a little high. I don't think that's going to be right. Yeah, okay. So, chamber 1. This guy was high. So I think I'm going to move him back to chamber 4 there. This guy was a little high. I think I'm just going to swap those two maybe. Come here. Alright, so if I put him there, does that seem right? Not really. How about here? Still short. High. Huh. Those two are almost certainly correct. Well, let's sort the rest out here. Alright, that's good. So it's just kind of a guessing game. I mean, you could use a gauge and measure everything, but you know, this doesn't take that long. Alright, so there we go. Those two are good. Last two should be pretty self-explanatory. There we go. Yeah, so that's looking, come on, focus up. That's looking pretty good. So we've got our core back together again. Don't want to lose any of these pins. Yeah, we'll actually just leave the key there. As far as the driver pins go, we have all spools except for one serrated, and it doesn't really matter. Everything's the same length here. The spool is the same length as the serrated, so we won't worry about that. Then here's where this kind of becomes a problem. The core must have gotten turned when all of the key pins had already dropped out a little bit, and what happens is these driver pins were actually in the core, and so these springs were hanging out. So we have one that's just totally fungued and toast here. The others are salvageable. Unfortunately, I don't happen to have this spring. It's a slightly smaller spring. I don't have this at hand. So this lock's going to have to stay with me just a little bit longer. But don't worry, EastBei, I'll get it back to you, back in one piece and working again. Once I get that spring in, it shouldn't be too long. But yeah, that's it. That's kind of fixing mistakes with locks and how you put stuff back together again after you get there. So yeah, once that spring comes in, I'll send this out, and along with these American S1100s. It was really cool to see these. I've never seen them before, so it was neat to see them. And so thanks for sending those over, EastBei, and keep watching. Thank you guys so much.